All right, what's up, y'all? I'm just gonna give some quick advice about modeling. And I decided to record it this way on the official camera. That way we can just save it and get access to it later, get some replays going. But like I said, I'm here with Rochelle. She's a model from Sacramento. She's currently signed to MDT agency, but she hasn't always been signed. She's done a lot of success on her own just by freelancing and booking jobs by herself. So I wanted to answer some questions inside this chat, inside our broadcast channel, if you don't mind, right? Yeah, so tell them about yourself. I'm gonna find some questions here to answer. Just introduce yourself, tell them more about you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Rochelle. I was raised in Sacramento, and throughout my modeling career, I was applying to agency after agency, and I just was not getting booked. So instead of just waiting on an agency to pick me up and get me a job, I decided to look online, and I actually found some sites that you can sign up for, create a profile, submit yourself to jobs, and actually get paid from those jobs. So I've actually worked with major companies like Amazon, Skims, Casetify, Black & Decker, worked with Jamie Foxx, Vanessa Hudgens, a bunch of celebrities and brands. I know, just a little bit. And I did it all on my own just by signing up through sites like Backstage and Casting Networks. And it is a fee. You do have to pay like a 1-year fee, I believe, to have the profile for a year, but it was worth it. Just from one job, I made the money back. And I kept on applying to agencies, but again, until I could hear back from my agent that I had now, I was booking all of these jobs on my own as freelance.
That's dope. Congratulations again on your success. So I've known Rochelle for like 7 years, something like that. We used to work together at the state. And so I know some of the questions that you guys had in here is about how to find jobs, where to book them, and maybe the job is like too far away from where you're located. So how did you deal with that? Because I know being in Sacramento, you traveled a lot to LA and other places. What was your mindset behind booking those jobs far away?
Yeah, it was very tricky, and you always had to weigh like cost versus like what the benefit would be from it, especially working a full-time job. There was some jobs that I did turn down because I was like kind of fearful, like, oh, what if I go all that way and it's not worth it? And I had to kind of get that out of my head because I was working a job that I don't necessarily love, but this is my passion, this is my dream, this is something I want to do. So I had to say, you know what, I need to put myself out there, go for it. And what helped me a lot was my support system. I have a really great mom, I have great friends and family who are very supportive, and sometimes I would ask them to hop in the car with me and we'd drive to the Bay or we drive to LA or fly to LA, whatever I could do, however we could make it happen. So my support system really helped me push me out of my comfort zone so I can work with these companies and go move towards the things that I love to do. Dope. And when I first started, I would just pick any job just so I can like build up a resume, like figure out like, I don't know, just get something under my belt. And I would just take any job that I could get pretty much.
Yeah, that's dope. So just being able to have a support system and sacrifice. And then you said, did you mention your job? You said you had flexibility with your...
Yeah, so I work for the state, and so I had a lot of flexibility as far as like time off. So that was really beneficial for me. So I could call out sick and I wouldn't get too penalized or even penalized at all, really. And so and I could just like pretty much, if I got a day's notice, because a lot of these jobs, they will call you and then they book you the day before a shoot. And so that was a big struggle too, again, to decide, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? But having a flexible job made it easier for me to kind of decide, okay, well, if they tell me today that I need to be in the Bay tomorrow, can I do it? And I was really grateful for having a job like that.
Yeah, so if you are modeling, you're looking to take your career seriously, there's some sacrifice that you have to make there, and weighing out the opportunity. Is it worth it for me to just suddenly book this job and maybe only get paid a fraction of what your job pays you, but you know, at the end of the day, we're doing this for the long haul, right? We have goals we're trying to get to. We want to be successful in this, and it's not always the chance that you're going to get like a big paying job, right? So, are you comfortable talking about financial, how much you get paid? Okay. So, give us some perspective, because like you said, Skims, you said Amazon, these are big names. How much are these jobs actually paying?
Yeah, so for Skims, it was kind of a two-parter. So that's where I had to figure out, is it worth it or not? So first they had the call on casting networks, which a lot of times you don't see companies like that on that website, so I wanted to jump at it. But they wanted you to do an in-person audition, and you had to go in person first before they even booked you. So I had to
This
decide.
is in LA.
This was in LA, so and I live in Sacramento. And so that was a big decision I had to make. Like, should I go all the way there? And what if I don't get picked? That's like, I don't know, just a waste of money, a waste of time, like ego also. So that was the first thing. I went there. Luckily, I did get picked, and they paid $1,000, I think, and they had you on set maybe for like, I would say up to 3 hours. So as far as like pay versus how much time I had on set, wasn't a lot, but then I have to factor in, I'm coming from Sacramento still.
Right.
So now I still had to come first for the audition, and then I had to go back again a week later if I booked the job. And then I have to find a place to stay. So if you don't have friends in LA, you have to get a hotel.
So someone's costing you
I
more.
really made nothing if you think about it. I made $0 really. But now I get to say like, I can always say I worked with the Kardashians, or like I worked with Skims. I'm on their Instagram page. Like they posted me, and they posted me in their outfit and attire. And even when you go for a regular job, like they always look at your resume. They say, who did you work with? Like when you apply for any job. So now when I apply for jobs in the future or agencies, like when I signed with my agency, MDT, when they did the interview portion, I got to tell them like, hey, I worked with this company, this company, this company. And you could kind of see their eyes are like, oh, she's booking.
Right.
So they want to work with you because you're booking jobs on your own. So imagine how you could work with them now if they put you on the roster.
That's awesome. So I was wrong. You can book big jobs with companies without an agency, but it's still maybe a little rare. I know we talked earlier about how some of those jobs they may be available, but they want you to have a certain clout. They want you to have a certain following count. Is that true?
Yeah, I found a lot of jobs that I read the description. I'm like, this is so cool. I want to apply. And sometimes I'll apply anyway just to see. But a lot of times, like even music videos and stuff too, like they'll always want you to have maybe 50,000 followers or 100,000, or on TikTok, Instagram, and I have like 3,000, so I don't have a lot. And so that can get really frustrating too, because it's like, well, I have the experience, I feel like I have the talent, but I don't have the following. And sometimes it's hard because it's like, why should I have to like have the following to help boost your brand? Like your brand should speak for itself.
Right.
And that like always kind of gets to me when I see jobs like that. I'm like, oh no, like what do I do? Like how do I get more followers? Because it's like, I don't know, I just can't wake up and have 50,000 followers.
Right.
That's always like, kind of like a shot to the ego a little bit sometimes.
So social media does help. Obviously, because brands, companies, even photographers, if they're going to hire you for something, it's all about like maximum visibility. Like who's going to see this model? Who's going to see her wearing this clothing or holding this product? Because at the end of the day, models get hired to help sell a product or service. So the more followers you have can definitely influence the type of jobs that you get, but it's not always necessary if you're actively pursuing and looking for those jobs through booking sites or just your own networking skills. And so that's the last question that I have here, because this came up quite a few times. The models are, they're having a problem with like body dysmorphia, or like, am I too skinny enough, or am I too plus size, or, you know, they go into a room and there's a lot of beautiful people in there, and then there's, you know, some insecurities that come about. So tell us about that. Like, how has that affected you, or how have you overcome those things?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, especially with social media, you're like bombarded with pictures, videos of a bunch of girls that may look similar to you or may look completely different from you, but they have maybe one thing different. Maybe they're skinnier than you or whatever. And sometimes, even myself too, when I don't book a job, I'm just like, okay, well, and I see who booked it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, did she book it because of X, Y, Z? I never know. So it gets kind of difficult trying to push past like thinking that you're good enough, because you are good enough. A lot of times I book jobs, and before I was signed, I would book jobs with models that were signed, and they're like a size 2, they're taller than me, like they have more of a resume, and I always have to remind myself that even if you're just at the audition phase, the fact is that you're still in the room with these other girls, so you are worthy enough, like you are important enough to be on this job, to be in that room, to I don't know, just to be seen by them. And so I have to push those negative self-doubt, those thoughts out of my head and the comparisons out of my head, because it's like, okay, well, I'm in the room too. I'm here. So obviously I am good enough, and I'm doing it without an agent. And so, like, I don't know. I just always have to, like, push that into my head and, like, beat that into my head, because I'm an introvert also. So it's like I feel like I'm putting on an act sometimes, like, to push myself out of my comfort zone.
This is an introvert.
It's
Well, I mean, it's just me and you here, so it's kind of different, right? But I'm an introvert too. A lot of people don't believe that as well. So there's actually, just really quick about that, if you are introverted or you're extroverted or you're kind of somewhere in the middle, like me and Rochelle, there's actually a word for that. It's called ambivert. You ever heard that before?
Yeah, I think you
like
told me
a
earlier.
little bit of both. I'm a little bit of both, introvert and extrovert. But yeah, no, that's great insight. Thank you for being here on this quick little video. Give some tips. Where can people follow you? Where can they get in contact and engage?
Oh yeah, so I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok under Rochelle Radiance, so you can follow me there. Yeah, if you have any questions, I always love when people come and just DM me randomly and ask me questions or want insight. Like, I love to share it, because there is money to be made out there in this industry. People always tell you, like, no, this is like, it's not a real job, it's not a real whatever, like, don't follow this dream, it's a dream. But no, you can make money from it while doing your other thing. You can have other passions, you can have other interests, you can have another job, and you can still make money from this. And, like, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm there for, to encourage people.
Thank you for being here. Hope you guys learned something. I'll try to bring more and more models, more expertise, more advice, and just deliver value to you. So if you do have any more questions for Rochelle or for myself, drop them into the channel, and maybe Rochelle would join as well. She'll just kind of pop in there. But all right, y'all. See you later.
Bye.